Okay, let's do this. Today I'm going to teach you something about digital marketing. For half a century, consumers' media consumption was dominated by offline media. Today, more than half of all the media we consume comes through digital channels. Reaching consumers through digital channels offers several advantages over traditional offline marketing. First, firms' ability to target specific consumers has increased greatly. For example, an online retailer can decide to advertise only to those consumers that have visited its online store. The second big advantage of digital marketing is measurement. Online, it's possible to track individual consumers across time and even across devices. With measurement comes the ability to optimize. Testing two different advertising campaigns, so-called A/B testing, is easy in digital marketing, yet many firms struggle to embrace it. Why? One inhibitor for digital marketing acceptance is novelty. Digital marketing instruments are still in the flux and come and go quickly. Moreover, understanding and integrating the various digital marketing instruments is not an easy task. Surefire ways for using them don't exist, yet which potentially exposes advertisers to risk of failure. The most important challenge, however, is mindset. For 50 years, marketing executives based their decisions on intuition, experience, and gut feelings. Today, marketing executives need analytical skills, at least as much as they need intuition, for a successful digital marketing campaign.
Digital marketing is one of those terms that's shrouded in confusion and seems to mean something different to everyone. It's also been made to seem way more complicated than it actually is, which is a shame really, as it's really pretty straightforward. And that's why on today's episode, we're diving in headfirst to uncover what exactly is digital marketing and how does it all work. Hello and welcome, my name is Adam Earhart and you're watching The Modern Marketing Show, where we take different marketing tactics, tools, tips, and strategies and break them down into bite-sized, actionable clips that you can use to immediately take your business to the next level. So what is digital marketing? Well, as simple as this is going to sound, digital marketing is just marketing using digital tools. And marketing is nothing more than communicating value to your customers. So digital marketing is therefore communicating value to your customers using digital tools. That's it. So, now that we've got that covered, the real question is what digital tools are available and how do they differ from traditional marketing tools? The first thing to do is understand the difference between traditional and digital marketing. Traditional marketing relies on tools and mediums like the newspaper, radio, TV, magazine, billboards, direct mail, and any form of print really. Digital, on the other hand, is made up of tools like search engine marketing, social media, content marketing like blogging, articles, or video creation, email marketing, and online pay-per-click advertising. When you're talking about traditional versus digital marketing, you're talking about the tools more than the strategy behind them. And more accurately, you're talking about which form of media you're going to use to communicate your message on, a traditional one or a digital one. So, does traditional marketing work? Absolutely. When done well and strategically designed and executed on, traditional marketing can still provide good results. But, and this is a pretty big but, when compared to digital marketing, more often than not, traditional simply doesn't have a chance. This is because digital marketing, on average, is more cost efficient, effective, and allows you to measure, monitor, analyze, and test at a much better and much faster rate. The key to maximizing your marketing budget and results is to first leverage all available digital options and then start looking at alternative traditional opportunities. As consumer media consumption trends continue to shift dramatically away from traditional and towards more and more digital content, there will be a time in the near future where we no longer refer to it as digital marketing and simply call it what it is, marketing. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for a future video, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. If you'd like more content like this, then head over to adamearhart.com because this is where I share my best tips, tricks, and strategies that I don't share anywhere else. Take care for now, and I'll catch you next time on The Modern Marketing Show.
There were just two things actually that I wanted you guys to pick up on there in those two videos, and both the people shared them at the end. I know most of you probably know what digital marketing is, so that wasn't the point of the videos. The first one was how at the end the person had a distinction between marketers from the past and marketers today, and how people in the past, and I worked in a marketing agency where everything was done on intuition, experience, gut, etc. And it worked, but it wasn't working as well anymore. And although I was constantly encouraging analytics, research, using more digital tools, most of the people didn't know how to use those tools. And therefore, we just continued kind of going the traditional route. And because of that, you all know the company, Beeline Advertising, that's one of the reasons why eventually the company closed down. The other thing that the second guy mentioned was that we've got this term, digital marketing, at the moment, which we use to distinguish between traditional marketing and digital marketing, but actually that name is going to become irrelevant eventually. It's just going to be marketing, and that's what it is. It's just marketing. It's just marketing using digital tools. And I think for us as educators, I know for many of us, we've grown up in the traditional era, and so we're still kind of also maybe using gut and experience and etc. But in a similar way, we need to begin to move towards digital and begin to understand digital just as part of marketing and begin to embrace it in that way. So, okay, with that in mind, let's begin. I think I made these copies for you. You guys can follow, or you can just listen. Okay, so digital marketing is not a subject. That's the first thing that I need to say. It's not a subject. It's an entirely new approach to marketing. And so therefore it can't really be taught in isolation to any other marketing related subject. Even though we might have a digital marketing subject, it doesn't mean that that's the only place where digital marketing should be taught. Every aspect of marketing is going digital, so therefore it needs to be taught in an integrated way. So this presentation is going to outline the core strategy for how we can integrate marketing, digital marketing, into our marketing program. And one of the key things that we want to think about is not just providing students with digital marketing theories, but also how we can give them practical tools which can help them add value in the industry. Okay, so the integration, digital marketing is very vast in its scope and application. So to effectively facilitate growth, student growth in the new millennium, we need a multi-layered curriculum that we can implement in a phased approach. On the one hand, we need to embed it into the current curriculum, and on the other hand, over there, that's my embedding, we can embed it, and on the other hand, we also need to teach it as a standalone subject. Today, we're mostly only going to be focusing on the integration process, not so much the standalone, although I have sent out a document that outlines both. Today, we're just going to be discussing the integration process. Okay, so the integration process is split up into phases. Phase A is where we take the existing curriculum that we have now and we take it online. So our existing curriculum is fairly traditional. It's not very digitally oriented. And what we want to do is we want to integrate digital marketing theories into our traditional program in order to make it more relevant to the digital world. And then phase B will be where we begin to teach pure digital marketing, and we're already beginning to curriculate into our post-grad a purely digital marketing subject, and we have one module now in the undergrad where we teach that. But we would want to begin to do that more and more. And not only necessarily standalone subjects, but even modules within existing subjects that can focus on digital marketing related theories. Okay, so I created this model, which some of you may have seen. And basically what this outlines is a way or an approach that we can begin to integrate digital marketing into our curriculum in a kind of step-by-step approach. Instead of just going all out, starting with redoing everything in terms of digital marketing, we can begin to slowly work our way up. And it's very simple. The first level is just where we begin to use digital marketing or digitally relevant articles when we do exercises, when we do case studies, when we do projects. We include digitally oriented articles in our teaching. And I think many might already be doing that, although I'm not sure if everyone's doing that. Level 2 is where we begin to take work that students are currently doing for their subject, and then we take that online using, for example, blogs and various other things that were originally designed for a traditional subject, they then post online. Level 3 is where students publish online work. That's where they actually create work in order to publish it online. It's not just designed for the normal subject and then they post it online. It actually needs to be crafted for an online audience. And then level 4 is where students begin to actually do online work, where the project is based on, for example, running an ad campaign on Facebook. And then level 5 is where we teach them digital marketing theories in addition to traditional theories. So for example, if there's a theory in your subject which is mostly traditional, what you could do is you could explain the theory, and then you could explain how it's used in a traditional context as well as in a digital context. And then the last one is where we teach pure digital marketing. So those are the 6 levels, and we're hoping to begin to grow in so we can eventually build the pyramid completely. And then here is a timeline which I've developed, all ending in 2022, because that's when we begin to offer our PG dip, as far as I know, 2022. And in our PG dip, we're going to be doing digital marketing strategy. And if students are going to be ready to do digital marketing strategy in 2022, they need to be equipped with all the other things that they need, theories and tools and etc., so that they're ready to take on that subject. So that means we need to prepare them effectively in the years preceding 2022, which means we need to start integrating now. We can't wait anymore. We can't wait anymore. Yeah. Right. So let's talk about level 1 integration. This is simply doing articles examples in class. So many lecturers have been using articles in their subject for many years, but maybe not necessarily digitally oriented articles. Many new textbooks are beginning to include digitally oriented articles as well. But we can't take for granted that every lecturer is doing that. So therefore we would like to facilitate and support every lecturer to begin to use digitally oriented articles in their subject. This is an example of a personal selling article, for example. The art of personal selling in the digital age, which could be used, Lawrence, for example, by yourself or by Tanya. Okay, so one of the key tools that's being used for digital marketing today is Facebook. For this reason, we're going to set up a departmental Facebook page, which can kind of act as an online forum for lecturers, where we can share digitally relevant articles, case studies, and other materials with one another that we could then use in class.
Sorry, just for staff.
Just for staff, right. So the idea of the Facebook group will be to encourage a space for learning and sharing that resembles the world that we want to reveal to students. Okay? So by engaging with academic content and sharing relevant examples and ideas with one another on this digital platform, we can begin to walk the digital talk. And after all, how can we as lecturers aim to teach our students concepts and theories from an environment that we ourselves are not familiar with? So this is not compulsory, of course. We're going to put this up, and the idea is that as we begin to grow in digital, we ourselves personally begin to grow in that way as well. And as a department, we begin to engage in digital as well. It's also very easy to share things on a Facebook group with one another. It's just kind of it's making it a part of our culture. Okay. So the main objective for the Facebook group, as I've said before, is that we can share digitally relevant articles. So for example, let's say someone, Rodney, finds a video that shows how LinkedIn is being used by financial brokers for personal selling. Then he can share that on the group and kind of tag Lawrence And then Lawrence will be like, oh wow, that's cool, I can use that in my class. And then I can also, because I've seen that, because it wasn't just an email that was sent to Lawrence, I saw that as well. Oh wow, okay, Lawrence, that's a cool video. I'm going to mention that when I teach personal selling in my first year class. So then we begin to integrate at different levels, and we all begin to say the same thing. Here's a branding example. Peter May, for example, have a case study where he begins to show online brand analysis. This is one of the key online brand analysis tools that's being used globally as far as I know. Brand's Eye. It's a way that you can see what's happening with your brand on all social media platforms at the same time. It gives analytics and so forth. And Rodney could, for example, touch on this during applied promotions, and Naima could integrate it with budgeting. How do you budget for this using this software in your budget? So begin to integrate in that way. Okay. Because it's a workshop, we need to discuss as well. I would like to know, how do you currently integrate digital marketing literacies into your subject? If at all.
It's obviously made it involved in taking the have a full chapter on it, and
In which subject is this now?
advertising.
Okay.
So digital interactive media.
Right.
So covers various aspects, and then the project, part of the project, as you know, is to try and see where they can help people that really know absolutely nothing about digital, Facebook or emails or whatever, problems or from what they've learned. And then a BTech digital, the whole curriculum, the book I use as digital throughout.
Okay.
From chapter 1 till whatever. It's continually referring to mobile, social media, interactive, online. And their major research project is the academic research, primary research is all in the digital field.
Cool. Okay.
And besides video recording everything and things like that. That's also taking them onto blended learning. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The nature of the subject.
Right.
Good.
First one, this is an introduced chapter which focus particularly on social media. I looked at different types of social media platforms, such as Facebook, WhatsApp, and others as well. And then I also interpreted that in the exams when we were dealing with prospecting. Yes, and
Cool.
in addition to that, my students did shadowing assignment in the first semester. So I expanded that project, and then after doing building a project where they get to create YouTube video
Cool.
based on the shadowing experience. Yeah, and that was
Cool. Great.
As far as marketing too, we expanded digital marketing versus e-marketing to digital marketing in 6 months after the significant part of marketing too. Then we can hold digital active community, cover all aspects.
It's like an introduction, yeah.
You get the broad base,
A broad, sure, like a broad introduction, yeah.
and then fourth grade level, students now develop their own articles to place it. But it is a requirement that the recommendations must include digital marketing strategy.
Okay, wow.
Maybe most of the articles do not refer to show any digital marketing strategy present in the company, but they will have to take the visual theory and apply some idea to see what they remember from second and first.
Okay. Cool.
Well, basically what you said, but
Oh, right.
chapter 10 is definitely focused on digital interactive media. Chapter 11 is our direct marketing chapter. But direct marketing has evolved to the point where
It's
integrated with digital
Yeah,
marketing
sure.
to the point where you can't really see the difference between the two
Yeah.
unless you're just using direct mail.
Right.
And literally every subject I will be talking about digital marketing and integrated marketing.
Cool.
I think the 21st century marketer is an integrated marketer.
Totally.
You can't be living in a traditional versus a digital world.
Totally.
And I did such a presentation a couple of months ago to some organization that
Wow.
asked me to talk about digital marketing.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's IMC, obviously integrated marketing communication is the tool that we use going forward. So I'd say for advertising and marketing too, we are level 6 already.
Already.
I mean, other than what we do for segments like adding traditional content. Yeah. So we add traditional content online, but we're also teaching digital theory.
Awesome.
Application in the digital and real world.
Wonderful. That's fantastic.
I say that I think the mistake that I made was to accept that our students are digital native.
Right.
They just know these things.
Yeah.
They don't. Of course, you need data. It's expensive to buy the latest this gadget and that gadget. So they're also feeling their way around.
Right.
They often know even better than I do.
Sure.
With that value. And I just thought,
Totally.
yes, like they'll now teach me.
It's not the case.
It's easier for them.
We assume they know how to use Facebook, but they know how to post a status up there,
Sure.
but not how to use it for business purposes.
Yes, I'd use strategically.
Or even AdWords or
Oh no.
I've played with it.
They've had no reason to.
More about it, right?
They have no reason to.
Yeah, but that's a blind spot I think that I have.
Wow.
I still have.
I think, can I?
Sure, please.
So for marketing 3, we do strategic marketing. We don't teach any digital marketing theories, but students just in terms, and we don't have it as a requirement because it all depends on because they have articles and they need to develop a strategy for that particular company or come up with everything. And so around the strategy aspect, we we warn students. The students immediately go to, they're going to do a Facebook or whatever kind of promotion.
Right.
And the mistake that students make is that your customer is not automatically going to go to Facebook. Everybody is not automatically on all these digital media platforms. And so I find that is so there needs to be that drive. So that how do you drive them to that particular media?
Right.
How do you take them to action from that? Because you can't put something on Facebook and assume, okay, now they're going to go and buy it.
Right.
So I find that there's those gaps in the retail module. We focus when we do the environment in which retailers find themselves. We have to of course look at the digital aspects online, and so again there we look at this year we looked at augmented reality because that is one of the aspects in retailing that retailers deal with. And so we also look at it, but it's just from a concept perspective, and again, what's happening out there in the environment and how it's going to have an impact. So we're not teaching, it's just, this is the concept, this is what's happening. This is an
It's an
awareness.
awareness,
Yeah,
right.
so in omni-channeling, we also look at omni-channel, what it is, what are the
Right.
requirements. So,
Okay,
we are dealing with the concepts.
that's
But
cool.
as we say, it's going to be.
An awareness mostly.
In addition to the blind spot, I think our department is usually employed. Libraries said that they just know this. All they said that we just know this.
Mm.
But I mean, we try at home to buy the gadget yourself and play around and maybe burn
Right.
your fingers and shut it down and maybe try
Right.
to try and stay up to date with this and yeah, blind spot.
Mm. I hear you. How can the blind lead the blind? Right.
I think this, like you mentioned earlier, there's this assumption that we have smartphones and that we all have Wi-Fi and
Right.
that our students all have smartphones,
Right.
but they don't have data.
Yeah,
No, so
yeah.
there's just this.
Yeah, there are obviously
Yeah.
some barriers,
Okay.
but they can obviously be overcome. That's one of the reasons we want to move now forward together, I think. So how can we overcome these things together? Okay, let's continue. Thank you everyone for sharing. That was great. Okay, so we've discussed level 1 integration, where we are now all, sharing different articles maybe, and maybe having giving students an awareness of various concepts, which is pretty much level 1 integration. Students are not actually yet engaging deeply with digital themselves. They're just understanding it conceptually, but maybe a little bit in advertising, and maybe to some degree in marketing too, although I'm not sure what project they do in marketing too.
They do, it's also a new concept, they developed a social media campaign based on the, yes, no, they're not doing it like that.
Okay, so we can plan. Right. Okay.
But again, it's just concept and idea.
Ideas, yeah.
It's not,
Okay.
So it's not practical.
No, not yet, which is where it becomes powerful. So that's what we're going to discuss now. Okay.
In articles, in theory,
Yeah. So, to some degree, did I?
and books also.
Yeah, sure. Digital marketing books, absolutely. Okay, let's get into level 2, 3, and 4 integration. Okay. So, before becoming an effective digital marketer is not about learning digital marketing theories, strategies, and skills independently. Becoming a very effective digital marketer. In order to become a professional that functions effortlessly in the digital world, digital marketing needs to become part of who students are. It needs to be a graduate attribute. So therefore, it's more graduate attribute than anything else. Okay. And one of the best ways to facilitate growth of this attribute is with a personal blog. I'm saying it is. Is it? No, it's not. I'm saying it should be a graduate attribute, at least for the marketing department.
that is,
Not rather the attribute.
No, how to function.
It's not a skill.
Sure. No. Being digital, like the term digital native, is that a skill? Or is that part of who they are as these young people?
But then you can say marketing is an attribute.
Yeah. Which I don't think it is. I think it's a skill.
Marketing is what then? A field.
Yeah, but it's a skill you learn, you become a specialist in that. Not everyone can do that.
Sure. What I'm suggesting is that for our students, let me put it this way. I think going forward more and more, universities are going to have to teach students, or students are going to have to embed digital literacies. And that's going to have to become part of being graduate. It's going to have to be an attribute of a graduate to understand how to do their job in a digital realm. That's the point. A core competency. Which is how we define a graduate attribute as far as I know.
It's more the being part, the flexibility, the problem solving,
Well, but there's also a technology-oriented graduate attribute.
you must be
So that's the idea. But okay, we can use the concept of attribute or core competency. The point I'm trying to make is that it's not just a skill that you learn. It's more than that. It starts to become part of the way you function and the way you do life. It's not just, okay, now I'm doing a digital task and now I'm not doing a digital task. And I think in many ways if we think about digital marketing as just a skill, then we're going to teach it in a way that is just a bolt on. Like, oh, we'll do a digital marketing subject and then they'll know digital marketing. And that's not how it works, sadly. Just because you know a few of the skills of digital marketing doesn't mean that you can effectively function in a digital world and do all become the digital native that there needs to be. So this is why I'm trying to encourage, or I want to introduce a strategy, a curriculum strategy, which will help students become, which help digital become part of students being part of their core, rather than just a bolt-on. And this is how I suggest it happens. Sure.
This is an interesting one, because are you saying every marketing student graduate must, in their DNA,
The marketing DNA.
yeah, in their marketing DNA, be a digital native person?
Yeah, be digitally capable. Absolutely.
Okay, but digital capable as a marketer
Yes.
in the digital realm.
Yes.
What if you're not interested in doing digital marketing?
Then you shouldn't do marketing.
But now, see now.
Marketing is digital.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree that marketing is digital?
I don't entirely agree.
Okay.
Yes. For me, it's more, if students already operate in the digital realm, and maybe I'm making an assumption now, that if you look at, if they're on Facebook or posting on Instagram or whatever, they operate in the digital realm. That's how I see it. So, again, whether they are able to put marketing content, related content in that field, that's different. That's how I see it.
So you say in their normal life they live non-digital lives, but then, no, of course, doesn't necessarily mean, so the point is that it's a digital world and you need to understand how to function in that digital world. And if you're a marketer today, you need to understand digital. That's the point. The point is not you can be a traditional marketer or a digital marketer. No, of course not. Of course it's but the point is this needs to become part of the digital marketing. What's the word? Like part of the digital marketing. Part of the marketing being is digital. And if you don't agree with that, well then I don't know.
But it's not just.
No, of course not. No, of course. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. Is that what you heard?
That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. You're saying if the person doesn't have that, then they're basically not a marketer.
No, well, they're going to lack, but sure, of course they can still be a marketer.
End up in his marketing profession in many events. Some are going to go into sales, which could be digitally, but not necessarily.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We're looking at as you're going into digital marketing that is, but it's not whether you're going into sales. If you just look at our business is operating, a lot of the things are done digitally.
Right.
So so that's how I see it.
Right, of course. So the point is that just because digital marketing isn't just a job description. I'm going to become a digital marketer. Even if you are a sales representative, you're still going to be doing digital. You're still going to be involved in the digital realm. So that's the point. No matter what job currently that students go into, digital is going to be part of that, and that's why we need to make it a part of their everyday marketing life to do things digitally. But that's not the only thing, of course.
So if we use a synonym for digital, then let's say automated.
Right.
Because then everything becomes it doesn't matter where you are.
Also not just start with digital.
No, no.
No, of course not. No, of course not.
And that I also hear that that's all it is.
No, it's not.
I think it's like the way our national diploma is structured. I think we have an amazing foundation.
We do. We do.
You are generalists.
We
right?
do.
And once you start going to advanced diploma and postgraduate and whatever, you become more and more specialized.
Yes.
In the areas that you want to focus on. And obviously your job and your path will also start making you more specialized. And I think that's invaluable because then you can work in any industry.
Sure.
I don't think the purpose of our national diploma is to make you an expert in digital marketing, but you should be comfortable enough to be able to sit in a meeting when you're talking about digital marketing or how to integrate digital marketing in your business, that you're not lost in what's going on.
Maybe a better way to describe it is like this. I just want to do this diagram very quickly. We've currently got multiple layers of our curriculum. One of them is strategy. That's a big layer. We do it every year, and we do it in great depth. And another layer is probably numeracy. That's another layer, accounting, economics, etc., etc. I'm suggesting that we add another layer to digital, so that it becomes part of the foundation. Not just, oh well, there's a little subject that we do on the side to teach you some digital tasks that you can know how to do it. No, it has to become part of your understanding throughout, through every facet. Part of the fabric is understanding technology, and understanding how you can be used for marketing purposes. That's okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, right.
Okay, great. I guess this is awesome because together we're learning what types of words we're going to use to describe how we believe and what we think. It's wonderful. That's great. It's fantastic. Okay, so how do we build this aspect of our foundation? And what I've discovered is that one of the best ways to do that is using a personal blog. Running a personal blog makes digital marketing part of your life, rather than just a subject that you do at school, that you do. Because it's something that you have a vested interest in. And it's something that you have a vested interest in growing because it's personal, not just professional. Okay? It matters to you, so you work on it all the time. When I first taught digital marketing in the science faculty, the applied science faculty, when I started lecturing, I asked everyone in the class to start a personal blog. And they were all food students, so obviously all their blogs were about food. And many of them are still blogging today. And I still comment on their blogs, and they still comment on mine. And so it's become part of their life. Personally, I blog, and I've been doing so for many years, and some of the best industry marketers I know are avid bloggers, or if they're not avid bloggers in their own right, they do contribute to their company blog or to some other blog. In addition, I've seen many people who do not have any marketing background in the start, and this kind of talks against what you guys were showing earlier, and then they start blogging, and then they move into the marketing industry because they learned a lot of marketing through that process. Would they be able to be strategic marketers, bloggers? I don't know. Anyways, the point is it's a very powerful tool for teaching and learning in a marketing context. So the strategy is as follows. It's to use a blog. Setting up and managing a personal blog includes many of the elements involved in setting up and managing digital marketing on a larger scale. So it's like a small version of the bigger scale of marketing in the digital world. It's free, it's easy to use, it doesn't require much training to implement, and it's also easily accessible to students and lecturers and the industry. So therefore it serves as an excellent tool for teaching and learning in the digital environment. It's also real, it's a live platform. It enables students to engage with their readers, who would be their customers, essentially, of their blog. And it will help them to develop a lot of the digital marketing tools like content development, copywriting, social media engagement, and in a more strategic way. When you're just commenting on a Facebook post, it's different to running a blog. It's a lot different.
If you include Twitter, which is a micro blog,
I would, but I would suggest that we do something a bit more comprehensive, and that Twitter is then just used to kind of to bring customers to the blog. LinkedIn, yeah. Sure. What most people do though is they have a blog or they have a company website and blog, and then they drive traffic from LinkedIn. They also do post on LinkedIn, but the idea is that they will get people to come to their blog so that they can get their email address. To build a... It can, absolutely.
So you're talking about ways of
It can, if we train them properly how to use it. Sure, of course, the idea is to combine all the tools.
So you're saying like blogger.com or medium.com?
No, like WordPress.
Okay, to the WordPress
blog.
So,
So, but WordPress is the biggest, and most company websites are run on WordPress today. So if they can learn how to work WordPress, they can work the company site. Okay, so so here's the other aspect. The goal is that students will develop an online portfolio, a blog that with lots of content, interaction, social media engagement, and effective visual design can speak volumes about a professional marketer. Imagine you've got a blog running with all these things happening, and your employer looks at this going, "Oh my word, you can manage people, you can," right? So here's some of the things that a blog, just running a personal blog, teaches you to do. It teaches you how to write. A lot of our students struggle with writing, but doing it more and often and being supported in your writing helps you grow, especially reading. When you're blogging, you often have to read other people's blogs so that you can comment. It's like a little community, and that teaches you how to write more effectively. It also teaches you how to learn how to express your own voice and not just copy and paste the whole time, which is often what our students do. Because you have to express your thoughts, your own thoughts and your own opinions, and learn about your unique style. It also teaches you how to engage in more intellectual conversation, because you have to comment. Sometimes if you write something and someone from the industry or someone that's intellectual comments, you're going to have to respond. You're going to have to think about what they're commenting about. Another thing is that it teaches you how to manage a tribe. So it's about developing content for a specific target audience and serving their unique needs, the people that are reading your blog. You also need to manage social interactions and understand trends so that you can write on things that are relevant. Also, you need to do online marketing research. Sometimes you do a poll and find out what your audience wants to hear about, and you do other forms of research so that you can more effectively serve their needs. Also, you need to do blog optimization, optimize the backend so that search engine is working effectively. Search engine optimization is working effectively to drive people to your site. It also teaches inbound marketing, how to use these various tools like LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook to get people to get them to your blog and then to convert them. The sale in blogging is to get people to leave their email address. That's when you've made the sale. Once that you've got them as a customer, then you build a relationship with them. So you can almost teach the entire marketing funnel using a blog. Another thing is that it teaches you effective design principles, because blogging is very visual and you need to understand layout and design. Also, it teaches you how to collaborate with other people. Sometimes you write collaborative blog posts or other bloggers want to collaborate with you. It teaches you strategy, like we've just discussed. Yeah, and those are some of the things that you can learn just by blogging consistently. Is it less vicious than? What do you mean vicious? It is because you can determine which responses you want to, you can choose which responses you want to reflect on your blog. If someone's just being nasty, you can just say you don't engage with that. So yes, you have more control in some way. Okay, so yeah, I think so. Or choosing who to befriend.
You can really put your voice out there.
That's true.
That's
Well,
what I've often tried to tell my students. What I've tried to tell my students, marketing is one of those industries where you don't have a lot of place to hide. Because your work is going to be out there, and people are going to criticize it. There's no student.
correct.
Yeah.
Definitely. It will be good for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so besides all these indirect elements which they will learn, there are also some direct abilities. For example, they will begin to carve out their area of interest. Your blog is usually about an area of interest. So students who like fashion will most likely blog about fashion-related marketing things. In this way, it begins to reveal their area of specialization and can therefore become a niche for them in the marketing world. If they've been blogging about fashion marketing for 5 years while they're doing their undergrad and postgrad, I can guarantee you they're going to have a lot of contacts, a lot of connections, a lot of understanding, a lot of content. And of course then connections is the other thing that blogging helps you to gain. So besides only helping their strategic capabilities, they will also be able to have professional connections that they make, and which is also very valuable to employers. If you've got connections, especially blogging connections, which is becoming a big form of marketing, what do they call it, where you use someone who, influencer marketing, thank you. It's becoming very big. And yeah, so we can train our students to become influencers or at least be connected to influencers, which I feel will effectively prepare them for marketing in the 21st century.
What's interesting is now is Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, to some extent, and even LinkedIn are all trying to integrate blogging to a platform. But within that platform, you step on it's open, so you don't have to leave the site. They want to keep you on Facebook as much as possible. So blogging is now substituting blogging because video content is the fastest growing medium online. And I don't know if we want our students, I think it's a great idea.
Well, the idea would be that they have a central blog that's their own personal blog.
That's why I made the comment about put it into Twitter or put it into Facebook.
But then so this will be their online portfolio, right? Which they have control over. And then what they will do is they will also create content for, like you've suggested, Facebook and Twitter. And then the idea with creating content there most of the time is you can have different strategies. You can have a content strategy for Twitter. You can have a content strategy for Facebook. But the idea is that you have a central hub that people will always come back to and that you'll always be building.
That's the obvious place for the website.
It will be a website. It's a website. It's just it's a content-oriented website. Yes. It's just more content because people don't just want static websites anymore, they want something that's alive. Okay, so considering that digital marketing is marketing in the digital world, it's not something that can really only be taught through theoretical concepts in one semester model or in one subject, but it's more capability that needs to be grown. And so, therefore, the more time students spend in that world, the better they will become. And until now, we've mostly been focusing on it in a different way, but the idea now is to have this teaching and learning, I guess, strategy in order to make it become a capability, or in order to embed these capabilities into them. These are the digital capabilities: digital identity and well-being, information media and data literacy, ICT proficiency, digital learning and development, digital creation and problem solving and innovation, collaboration, communication, which blogging can help facilitate. Okay, so as I discussed, we're going to set up we'll help them set up a WordPress blog. First term. First term, it's very simple to do. I've already made videos which will teach them how to do it. And as I said, I've done it before, and from there it will grow. Okay, then they're going to need to populate the blog, obviously, with content. And integrate it with social media, and that's where all the subjects in the program come in. In order to help students develop their blog, we should consider providing students with opportunities to do so in our subjects. So the blog will go across subjects. It won't be in a specific subject. But all the subjects will be able to help students contribute to their blogs. Okay? Yes.
But this, just emphasize, this is the personal blog.
Yes.
So you provide content so you can link it to your subject. But this is in no way, so you can tap into that.
Right.
You can go onto the blog, you can read whatever you ask them to do.
Yes.
But it's their personal blog.
Their personal blog.
Yeah, so I'm sitting on an arm and arm how to
Brand their blog.
themselves.
Right.
That's focus area that we spoke
Mm.
about. And how to differentiate, for example, how to brand that thing.
Wonderful.
And feel personality, blah, blah, blah.
Wonderful. You're already beginning to get to our next exercise. Okay, we'll get there now. Okay, so what did I want to say here?
So we're going to give them content.
Yeah, correct.
The information, not information.
Okay, yeah, the content. So the first form of integration is where you don't really have to do much extra. Level 2 integration. This is where you take what you're already doing. Let's say it's a normal assignment, but all they do is they then take that assignment and they post it on their blog as a form of, as like an evidence of work they've done, that anyone can then say, oh, how did you do that strategic plan? Cool, I can click on it on your blog. And then, so once they've printed it, they can just put it on their blog. What you can do is you can give students an extra little mark. So maybe not all your projects you can do in the way that Peter is describing. You could just give a small extra mark for you posted it to your blog, 5%. Cool. Okay. Why? Well, you see now, as I've got here, this will probably motivate them to do better work because it's going to be on their blog. It's going to be seen by the whole world. Well, you see, I think motivation is a very powerful topic. If I'm doing it for me, I'm going to put more effort than if I'm just doing it for you. No offense. No, but really, I mean, think about it. If I'm just doing it for my lecturer who's going to chuck it there, he's just giving me a few marks, certainly I'm going to put a bit more effort in. Or maybe I'll do it for him and then later on I'll change it. Or that's the idea, that's the hope.
The motivation is you put it on the blog, how do you feel it can be seen by everyone in the concept as well.
Correct. Well, I guess they can also delete it afterwards if they want. It's up to them. Okay, so here are a few examples. Marketing 4, video record your company presentation and post it to your blog. So when they do a presentation in class, what do they do now again? They do a case study and then they do a presentation on their case study in class. Right. So they could record that, and that's a great piece of evidence.
I would rather say that at that level they want something that you want other people
To see, okay.
you want a sandpit and safe that you want to play without publishing.
Yeah, but remember on a first year and a second year, even third year level, their blogs are mostly only going to be read by us and the other students. They're not necessarily going to be... Oh, I see. Sure.
What do you work very well? You've got verbally or stir, you can analyze it, you've got your video with your sense, and yeah.
Okay. Applied promotions is here's an example. You upload the research proposal as an example piece of research done. Students could even do a series where they post up their progress each week on terms of their research that they're doing. Marketing 3, they could upload a strategic company plan to the blog, of example. I don't know if they still do that.
They don't just speak to companies, they make recommendations based on articles.
Okay, cool. They could post that up, and then law, they could do a Consumer Protection Act analysis, even within their specific field, their niche area, and then post that up onto the blog. Okay, so those are a few oh yes, global marketing. They can upload their their global PowerPoint. They do a country analysis, isn't it? They could post that up as well. Okay, then level 3 integration. So level 2 is taking what you're already doing and they just post it up. Level 3 is where you design something for their blogs. You design an exercise for their blogs. Okay. And they can what they should do is they should post it on their blog, and then they should print that out and hand it in to you if you want a printed version to mark. Or they could just send you the link and you could look at it and give them a mark if you have a rubric, depending on how you want to do it. What's also nice with this, and I did this with food students, is I had a specific mark for commenting on someone else's blog post. So everyone had to share their blog post. They all did the same project, but on their niche. Then everyone shared their blog post, and then they had to comment on one another's blog posts. And it was a little bit time consuming, but I would then go look at each post and see who's commenting. But I specifically said, I don't just want you to say, that's great. You have to comment something meaningful, something that relates to what they shared, something intellectual. And so I would then give them marks on the degree to which they commented. Okay, so here are some examples. Global marketing, develop a blog post that will draw international readers to your blog. Finance, do a blog post on the importance of managing cash flow. Project management, do a written feature on the various types of project management software. I think they're going to do project management now. Co-op, this one I really like. I'm excited about this one. Do a blog post each week at the place where you are doing your co-op with photos of what you're doing. So we can kind of follow your progress and what you're learning. Yeah. And then Peter, your example was also really nice. How you can blog, how they can brand their blog. Then level 4 integration, which is actually, your example is actually more here. This is where you actually begin engaging with the online platforms. You're not just giving them something to post up on their blog. You're teaching them how to craft their platform so that it better reflects their brand, like you've suggested. Or how to promote their brand on these various platforms. Yeah. If you wanted to do this, you would need a bit of a better understanding of the various platforms. If you wanted to integrate at level 4, you would need to understand how LinkedIn works, or how WordPress works, if you wanted to integrate here. Or whatever it will be by 20, yeah, correct. So it would need some learning on our part if we wanted to engage, if we wanted to integrate on this level. Okay, so here are some examples. Advertising, promote the blog using a variety of social media tools. Marketing research, do customer research using SurveyMonkey. That's a typical, right? So they have to use SurveyMonkey to do research of their readers and then create a research report based on that. Consumer behavior, do an online poll. They can do a poll on their blog and see what people are clicking and then analyze the behavior of their readers. Branding, a personal brand plan for the professional blog and online presence, like you suggested. And statistics, use the metrics from your blog hits to do statistical analysis and see how you can optimize your traffic, increase your traffic. Okay, so we're nearly at the end. This short exercise. Consider one exercise that you could give students in your subject at level 2, 3, or 4. Particularly level 3 and 4 would be helpful.
Advertising, we have our research questionnaire that we have to do, which we will feed into our project one is integrated marketing communication stack. So they could literally, they have to do this for the whole 10-month period for the whole year. So they do that at the beginning of the year where they do a poll or research, do survey monthly, instead of doing a
physical one. Right.
Customers are relevant to the company that they've chosen, and they can document that entire process from the beginning of the year all on the blog.
Cool.
What it has a virtual CV and portfolio of what they've done by the end of the year,
Yeah.
which they can use to prove the work that they have.
Yeah. Cool.
And ending up with a integrated stack.
Wow. Okay.
Those are academic levels, not research.
No, those are those levels.
Those are research.
Those are the same, yeah. Lawrence, we just said, giving us the, maybe you consider how you could integrate in your subject on level 2, 3, or 4. The levels are over there on that page, I think page 5. It shows you the levels. So that's going a bit beyond just content. Yeah, you could, sure. You could integrate at all multiple levels at the same time. It's great. Hello? Oh, students. Sure. Cool.
Platform sells its I can see in that illustration where you show you how
You mean this one?
blog, this
Right.
platform as well. You don't really know which environment of and which platform you will try to apply. So yes, it's good that we are conscientizing the culture of being familiar with the platform. But we should just put more emphasis on the raw. It must be a holistic approach so that other platforms are also giving attention as much as we are doing raw. Like with that example I gave you of doing my training, assignment video, YouTube.
Sure.
So it's a good idea, but let's not be biased towards growth.
I think that's it's the same words what I was trying to say. The vlogging, for example, through YouTube is obviously big and growing and whatever. So you could do this, but you could do it via a vlog, or you could do it. I use Twitter for my photography. So I don't develop my content after that, I develop all just with Twitter, which forces me to be extremely focused on that audience for Twitter. And I find it to be quite effective for what I have to do. But I mean, I see what you're doing there with that. Think broader, but also the deep.
Yes. The ideas, I hear what you guys are saying. How do I explain this? The idea is that you begin to brand yourself, and you become an influencer. You begin to create content, and you create a personal brand, and your personal brand can create content and can reflect itself through any of these platforms. That's the idea, and should. The idea is that we will train students to reflect if their brand, for example, is more related to Twitter, then sure. If you're a fashion blogger, you're probably not going to use Twitter much. You're going to use big visual images, Pinterest. You're probably going to use Pinterest. So you're going to probably grow in that direction. But the central area is kind of like your hub, your personal brand HQ. Your repository. And no matter which, because at different times you might use different platforms, but you're always going to keep things coming back here. So I agree with you guys, and I think we're saying the same thing. But yeah, maybe a good way to begin to think about this is professional branding in your niche area. Okay, no, but we can cover a little bit of it in first year. Sure. From the beginning of sort out your brand. Well, shame they're not gonna. It's gonna be so. It's just.
That's fine, but I mean that's what they have to do.
No, but remember their blog name is gonna be their own personal name.
Yeah.
My name .wordpress. I hear you. I guess. No, sure. But no, we're not going to do that yet. I don't think. I think it's just going to be like a repository where they're going to learn how to play, like a sandbox, like you suggested. Going forward, we can begin to integrate, like you're suggesting, branding yourself. How can you begin to now theme your blog so that it relates more to your specific niche area? Delete the content that doesn't relate.
It's like when you're doing the business now. You first started the business around a couple of years, now I'm branding it.
Yeah.
You've already got a personality that's all over the show, etc.
I hear you.
Now you change your URL. Or your handle.
But they can. I guess after 4 years of being here and playing, they can eventually say, okay, I'm going to create a new blog, I'm going to choose the content that I want to use there, and so forth. Okay, so we want to support everyone, including those who are not here or listening to the video. We want to support people to begin to engage with us and to begin to facilitate it in their subjects. So depending on what's required, we'll maybe create little guides that explain how to integrate certain things, or little videos, or run more workshops to help lecturers, or work with their curriculum, see what can we do to take them online. And then lastly, just a rollout plan in terms of how we're going to move forward, timeline. We've now done this workshop. We're going to put up the Facebook group. We're going to, the first years are going to do their blogs this term. The other next year's first years are going to do their blogs in the first term, and the third years are going to do their blogs. So first, second, and third years will all have blogs by the end of next year's first term, all 3 years. And then, okay, there we go. And then we'll obviously show all of you how it works. How does the blog work? How, and so forth. And then we'll probably discuss how we can then integrate with maybe some of the other lecturers will be here as well. And then at the end of next year, we'll look and see how the year's gone. How has the blogging been going? What have you been trying? And yeah, figure out what we'll do next year, the following year. And that's it. That's it for now. Vision.
I think to start, we're going to have to see, when you were lecturing the email, and those students worked on blogs, we had to quite lecturers, we had to comment
I sent it to all of you, yeah, sure.
So we had to comment on, I interacted with some of the students. I can see how it can work. But this is not prescriptive in any way. Where we say people must do this. And I think it's a good vehicle. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's a good vehicle, and it's an easy way. Because you could easily ask, give students a discussion question and say, put it on your blog, and you can then, you can then go there and you can mark them. So that's we had a discussion.
Sure.
So I think it's going to be something that's easy, and we need to
This is probably up to you.
It will be up to you. It's again, it depends on what you're using Blackboard for and what you're using the blog for. Because we're not, as I said, we're not going to say. CPUT wants everything on Blackboard, but what we're saying is, this is not going to replace Blackboard in any way. So,
They could post on both, sure.
they could, and we must look at what are we using the blog for. What is the purpose of the assessment? So we're not saying we're going to post everything on there. That could be a formative assessment where you're just saying, here's a question, a discussion question, you now need to have a discussion with your followers. And then you go and you look at, what did they post, how did they use that concept, what did they say about that concept. So it can be used for formative purposes. It doesn't have to be used for uploading assignments and things like that.
What's also nice is, I was just thinking now, it could be quite relevant in the sense that, let's say something's happening in society, and you can use that and say, write about it. Or the students, you can say, students, what do you guys want to write about on your blogs? Because your blogs, you're adding to it. What would you like to do? No, we want to do this, we want to do that. So it can form a more collaborative learning space as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Pleasure. Thank you. We'll be in touch. I'll send you guys the Facebook link.
As far as recordings concerned, did you use the laptop speaker, whatever to record?
Yes.
Because you don't have another.
No, I used the speaker, yeah.
Thank you very much.